Today I want to share the recap of one of the most anticipated movies of 2022, Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. The movie begins with the funeral of King T'Challa, and Princess Shuri and her mother Queen Ramonda are mourning their loss. It's a beautiful scene and we see the elaborate funeral of the King of Wakanda. After this scene we see that Queen Ramonda, the mother of Black Panther and King T'Challa, sits on the throne of Wakanda and she goes to a meeting with the world leaders. In this meeting, she tells everyone that just because their king is dead, it doesn't mean that Wakanda is now weak and without a protector and would allow others to steal the vibranium that is a huge part of their heritage. The main door opens and some Wakandan soldiers step in with a few mercenaries that they arrested because they attacked one of their bases and they wanted to steal vibranium. Queen Ramonda points out that these mercenaries work for world leaders and their next attack will be their last. And people of Wakanda, they won't share vibranium anymore if this happens again. After this meeting, the world leaders find some vibranium at the bottom of the ocean and they send the ship to retrieve this vibranium. While two divers go at the bottom of the ocean, they find vibranium and they try to extract it. Their communication with the surface gets disconnected and the people on the ship, they lose track of the heartbeats of these divers. And when they realize that they are attacked, it's a bit too late. Some blue creatures that look like human beings, they climb on the ship and they kill everyone. The next morning, Queen Ramonda watches the news and sees that America held Wakanda responsible for these attacks on their ship and goes to see Shuri and want to know about their new advancements on technology. Shuri, who has been working a lot on an AI assistant and some new suits for the fighters, she is clearly still not over the death of his brother and she blames herself because she couldn't find a cure. Queen Ramonda takes Shuri for a walk and they sit on the beach by the fire. They talk about T'Challa and how much they missed him and what should they do after him. While they're talking, a man comes out of the sea and he's the leader of those blue men who attacked that ship and his name is Namor. He tells that there is a scientist who invented a device that can find vibranium in the bottom of the ocean and now he and his people are about to be exposed to the world and he does not want that. And he tells Shuri and Ramonda to bring this scientist to him or he will start a war against Wakanda. As a matter of fact, he holds T'Challa responsible for his exposure because T'Challa was the one who introduced vibranium to the world. The next day, the queen gathers all the leaders of Wakanda and the neighbors to talk to them about Namor and they all agree that it is a different enemy because it's the first one who has access to vibranium. The queen sends General Okoye and her daughter Shuri to go and find this scientist. In the next scene, we see Ross doing his daily run and there is a bee flying in front of his face. He tries to get rid of it but he realizes that it's not a bee but a robot controlled by Shuri. He follows the bee and sees Okoye and Shuri at the end. They want him to tell them about the whereabouts of that scientist who created the vibranium finder, quote unquote, and when Ross asks them about the attack on the ship, they say that it was not them and they can't say who it was because Namor threatened them not to expose them to anyone. Ross tells them where to find this scientist and Shuri and Okoye go to find and talk to this person. The scientist is a 19-year-old girl, Riri Williams, and they actually convince her to show them her work and to go with them, but some soldiers from the US attack them. Shuri and Okoye almost succeed at their mission, but when they are about to cross a bridge, the blue people attack them and capture both Shuri and Riri. Okoye, who was fighting them, got thrown into the water and could not save them, but she saw that Shuri and Riri, they were caught, so she reports this to Queen and the Queen is extremely angry and does not take this well. She relieves Okoye from all of her duties because it was her who wanted to take Shuri on this mission, and now the Queen, after losing his son, now loses her daughter. Ramonda goes to see Nakia in Haiti, who works in a school. She tells her of what happened to Shuri and asks her to find her daughter and bring her back. Nakia of course listens to her queen and starts her mission to rescue Shuri. She finds a lead in Mexico and goes there and talks to a woman there, and the woman tells her that she has seen some powerful blue people who wear masks and they live under the water and they breathe under the water. Then we cut to Shuri and she's taken to the king Namor. Namor tells the story of his life and how he and his people accidentally found vibranium, and it actually changed their DNA in a way that they can breathe only underwater. He also explains why he is different and can breathe in both water and on the surface, and plus he has wings on his ankles and can fly. After this story, he takes Shuri to their main tribe and underwater city and shows this to her. Shuri is surprised to see how developed and powerful these people are. After this visit, Namor gives Shuri his mother's bracelet and tells her that she is the only person from the surface who has seen their city. Shuri also tells her the story of T'Challa and how broken she is after this loss. Shuri, who knows that Namor wants to kill Riri, tells him that she can't allow them to do this. But here we realize that Namor not only wants to kill Riri but also wants to start a huge war against the surface. He gives only two options to Shuri. One is to join and help them in the quest of conquering the surface, and the second option, if she refuses to do this, Wakanda will be the first nation to fall. In the meanwhile, there is a meeting in US about what should they do about the attack of Wakandans on their ship. Ross is also present in this meeting and says that if they start a war against Wakanda, they will face one of the strongest armies ever, and this army is armed with weapons which are way more advanced than theirs. After this meeting, Ross calls Ramonda and tells her that they don't have much time. Queen Ramonda talks to Namor again and tells him to let Shuri go, but he says if they don't cooperate, he will kill Shuri and attack Wakanda soon. While they are talking, Shuri and Riri get rescued by Nakia, and Nakia shoots one of the soldiers and kills her. Namor gets back, and after seeing this, he gets mad and wages war against Wakanda. Then we go to Wakanda and see them preparing for the battle. The Queen and Riri are talking in the main hall, and Shuri is at her lab creating new tech for the battle. Nakia is at Wakanda as well, and she talks to Okoye, who is now a citizen, and tells her why she didn't participate in T'Challa's funeral. Because for her, T'Challa was more than the king of Wakanda and the Black Panther. All of a sudden, we see the water level rising, and it means that Namor is there. Namor soldiers are fighting with the Wakandans on the ground, and Namor himself, who can fly, he shuts down a few of Wakandan fighter planes. When he arrives on the ground, M'Baku attacks Namor, but Namor punches him so hard that his vibranium vest shatters to pieces and he gets unconscious, and this shows how strong Namor is. The Queen and Riri are still in the hall, and Namor flies over and tries to break the window between them with his spear, but he can't do it. So he throws water bombs made out of vibranium and he floods the whole place. The Queen and Riri go underwater and they are drowning. Although Ramonda saves Riri, she dies herself. Namor tells Shuri that he will attack again in a week, and that is all the time that they have. Wakandans bury their queen, and M'Baku talks to Shuri at the funeral and tells her that elders wanted the people to be taken to a safe place. He also tells Shuri that she is not a child anymore and she has to make big decisions. So Shuri gets back to her lab and analyzes the bracelet that Namor gave to her to find a way. In the meanwhile, in US, we see Ross, who is visited by his boss, and his boss tells him that she knows about him being in touch with Wakandans, and she arrests him. Back at Wakanda, Shuri, Nakia and Riri are trying to find a way to defeat Namor. So they analyze his biology, and why is he different with the others? Why he can fly and breathe easily under the water and on the surface. When they find out to how to defeat Namor, Shuri uses the technology that she got from the bracelet and matches it with the Black Panther suit. She decides to become the Black Panther herself. She goes through the traditional way of becoming the Black Panther and she succeeds. And then she goes to visit the elders who are hiding. She tells them that they should not hide anymore and they must fight back, and also tells that she has a plan. Her plan is to fight Namor in a place that is not near water and that would weaken him. She and all the Wakandan fighters lures Namor and his people in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, and the final battle begins. The Wakandans surprise their enemies, and now, with Black Panther on their side, they are stronger than ever. Riri has a sort of Iron Man suit, and she lures Namor away from the others, and when Namor falls, a plane catches him mid-air, and Shuri enters the plane as well. Shuri raises the temperature inside the plane, and Namor, who is losing his conscience and he's getting weak, starts to wreck the plane with his spear, and Shuri asks the plane to take them to a desert. Their plane crashes and they keep fighting. In the meanwhile, the Wakandan soldiers are fighting with the enemy on their huge ship and they are winning. But Namor army uses 2 whales and they bring hundreds of water bombs and blow these bombs under the ship. The ship gets critically damaged. Okoye and Anika arrive with their new suit that Shuri designed for them, and they help the Wakandans, but the fight is not in their favor anymore. Shuri also gets badly wounded and Namor pierces his spear into Shuri. Shuri sees a vision of her mother, and Ramonda tells her to show the world who she really is. She gets motivated and stops Namor, and although she can easily kill him, she spares his life and tells him that the war should end. Shuri says that Wakanda will protect Namor and his world, but won't help them to attack anywhere, and they should not wage war against the surface world. Namor agrees to her terms, and Shuri and him, they both get back on the ship on which the people were still fighting, and the fight ends. In the final scenes of the movie, we see Wakanda getting back on its feet and it's thriving again. Shuri assembles Riri's car, which was wrecked on the bridge when they were attacked. Then we go to US and see that Ross is being transferred to a prison, but Okoye saves him. At the end, Shuri sits by the fire and relives the memories of T'Challa. And yeah, that's it. That's a recap of the movie Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. For other recaps, don't forget to subscribe to this channel.